Okay, before I get started here on we got EU tariffs, more stuff coming out with Apple as well. And before I get started, come over to ZTRADEZ.net, check out the terms and conditions page, read our disclaimers. If you do not agree to it, do not watch this video. If you do agree to it, continue to watch this video. Join the free Discord as well as the newsletter in the comment in the description below. So this is going to be brief. I've got a bunch of YouTubes to go over, but we have more bad news out with tariffs, 50% based on, came out the other day. Trump had comments the other day. Trump's tweets are now like random FOMCs. It's ridiculous. You gotta really have your eyes peeled right now on Trump's Truth Social and everything, because it's like make or break. And the second it comes out, it's like the market reacted before. I want to go over briefly on my watch list. If you want the full watch list, join the newsletter. It's 100% free below. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Weakening RSI. We ripped up, guys, from 481 to 4. We were at 495, almost 496. That is insane. It's like $110. You know, in just a little over a month. Within a month, it almost shot up $100. 5 weeks were 4.5 weeks. Sorry, guys. I just ate CMG. I'm still burping. 4.5 weeks were up over $100 on SPY. Just instant teleportation move. So obviously we're going to have some pullback here. I wanted to jump over on some of the lower time frames. Let's take a look at, we've got a gap fill right here on SPY to 467, which will probably be filled. You know, we tried to lower bar outside of this one. This body on this bar is outside of that one. This body here was below that one totally, even below that wick. Indication we're bearish. Same with this, same with this. We could fill it. News isn't looking good. It wasn't looking good Friday, and it's probably not. Maybe it will, since the weekend's so long, we'll go through a giant bear news cycle and it'll get bull before the market even opens again. On Tuesday, gap fill right here. There was also, let me turn this back on. MACD is about to cross. And if that crosses, that could be bear for a while. Look at the histogram there, about to turn over bear. The confliction I see here, the only bull I see is the histogram's turning bull here, but this is gonna fill the gap, it looks like, guys. 570. You know, it really looks like 570 easily. Where was this gap? 567. You know, that's not that much of a drop right now. I mean, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. But the problem is the conflict. There's more confliction here. Flagging here, and we're right on the 200 right here on Amazon. Tesla flagging. We have that volume shelf. If we can snap above that, this is where there's a big volume gap to 369 and 376. That could happen. Above that, we have a gap right here to 400, 401. We had a bad earnings over here. So I'd be excited to see what the next earnings are going to. It may be bad because it's going to be baked in with all the sales. We'll see. I just got news out right now. Trump extends deadline for 50% tariffs on EU to July 9th. Every time there's Trump's going to be putting tariffs on any country, it's not going to go through. I doubt it'll actually go through. They're going to come to an agreement and they'll kick the can up the hill. So it's a buying opportunity in my opinion. What would be nice is if Tesla could drop back down in this low volume area back to 293 and I could scoop up some more. I bought in the 240s down here somewhere. It may have been lower, 240s and 250s. Look at that little turnaround. Look at those candlesticks right there with this outside bar above the body of that one with a reversal candle. That right there was crazy confirmation. 277. God, if you had caught that all the way up to 354, ridiculous. Let's keep moving. I had some more stuff on my watch list here. UNH. We have that little volume gap. That's going to come to 280, it looks like. I called UNH last week, guys, pretty much perfectly off that volume shelf. Right. Wait, whoops. Everything's backwards. Hold on. Let's move my face over. Right there. Right off this volume shelf. I call it a 248. And the second it hit 248, it launched. We also have the 200 right there. Anything near the 200 on a monthly, that's a lot. That's a big company that is making money and has positive earnings. I want to keep my eyes peeled on that. It almost looks like a head and shoulders on the RSI there. Wouldn't it be wild if we filled that volume gap? I would have to load up down there. Something bad could happen. We'll see. Could continue to happen. So I've been doing this a long time, coming up on 10 years now, guys. There'll be bad news cycles towards the end of the bad news cycles, which you don't know where they are, but if it's kind of getting repetitive and slowing down, depending on what the news is, it's not as easy as that. That's when I love to buy, when there is no light at the end of the tunnel, because I get the best prices. The second there's light at the end of the tunnel, within seconds, before you can even buy it, it's ripped. I like to slowly build a position on the way down rather than catching a falling knife. And the way you catch a falling knife, let's say I wanted to put 10 grand in, I would just throw it in as it's dropping, like over in here, right? How I'd like to do it is, 2,500, another 2,500 and just slowly scaling in. But I timed that just right. Well, I didn't. 258 is my dollar cost average, about a 271, 258 and 251. So my dollar cost average is somewhere around there. But, we have a massive gap back up here. If you take a look, volume, at the earnings, take a look at this indicator right here. This is just the earnings. I mean, it is just a sea of green. We can go back on the weekly for an eternity. I mean, it is just a sea of green. Look at this. We're back all the way down to 2010. And that almost looks like an inverted hammer. This is a lot of selling pressure. And just because there's an inverted hammer doesn't mean we're going to rip up. It is a bullish reversal candle. And with all this downwards pressure, it could just sink back lower again. I do not see us going below 250, 248. It could happen. If it does, if it gets below my dollar cost average, I'm going to start buying more as well as calls. We called calls out around $2,030. They ended up going to around 3,200. Until I had looked at it, they were around 31 something. But $1,000 move on contracts for 2026. What else do we got? There's a lot of stuff. Nvidia. We've got tons of stuff with flags on it. Look at this rejection right here. That looks bearish as can be. This has a flag, but that can also fail. Just like IWM was kind of having a flag here, and that wasn't really necessarily the same flag. This was different. We rejected off the 200. But a lot of stuff's been failing. That gap's already been filled. There's a gap here over as well. Before I move on to the last one I want to look at here, we got a gap there, right? To 267. There's a gap all the way down here on SPY at 529. 529. Now, I don't see us really going too much lower than the gap. We got the 200 right there. And again, this area is a serious area like it was over here and over here. This is a serious area of now acting as support as well as the 200. And again, we could push past it, but there's strong support here. And I do think we're going to fill this gap this week. So we'll see. But all this is going to be short-lived. Then we'll pump up again and then more bad tariff news. And it's just until the market just quits listening to it. We just don't want inflation baked in permanently with tariffs. That is not what we want. And that is not winning. Hopefully that will not happen. I hope that doesn't happen. I agree with the tariffs. I don't agree with permanent baked in inflation because the companies may not move their prices back down to where they were prior. That's when it's actual corporate greed, which annoyed me in 2020 and 2021. They were like corporate greed, acting like that's all it was, and it's like, no, that's not all it was. They wouldn't have had an excuse to raise their prices so much if the government didn't cause inflation. Governments cause inflation. Keep that in mind. And horrible economic policy. Doesn't matter who was in during COVID. The whole world did the same thing. There's a pandemic, for the love of God. Of course, there's going to be inflation and all that. But anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. HIMS is another one I got on watch. There's some short positions I'm looking at. I'm opening an equity and penny stock category here to ZTRADEZ. I'm going to get that up this weekend. And I'm going to talk about some stuff that I could possibly short. I have to go in by buying a call just in case there's a violent squeeze as a hedge. But we have an outside bar here with this bullish neutral candle with a gap up here to 57 and a volume gap to 59.60 level up here. So I expect that to pop. If we go bull, I expect that us to probably at least fill, you know, we're at what, 54? I expect us to fill this gap over in here. And I expect us to possibly hit this volume shelf right here because it's an area of lower volume. If you guys like this content, make sure to like and follow for more. I'm going to post a day trading strategy that I have here at ZTRADEZ. It is a very conservative, for one of the next videos. I'm going to talk about IONQ for a video. I'm also going to talk about my day trading strategy and one of my day trading strategies that's working, consistently working. So keep in mind, if you're a day trader, you have to have a strategy. What is your strategy? Just gambling on something? Not everybody has rich parents that can replenish their accounts when they blow them, which is what a lot of the these little gurus, that's what it's just they got rich parents that I'm seeing. But that's another conversation. We're going to get into that in the next videos. But keep an eye on HIMS. SPY, I mean, I still think we're going to fill that gap. Who knows after that? Let's see what these, we've still got another day of news cycles coming out. UNH may go lower. It's gonna, you know, unless something really serious happens, I don't see it really falling lower than where it was. Although that could happen, I don't think it will. So let's keep our eyes peeled next week on the market and where we're going to go. Is the Tesla flag going to play out? That flag on NVIDIA kind of looks like it's failing right now. Just because there was a bull flag doesn't mean it's going to, it is forced to play out. Tesla flag looks good. So we'll see. Market looks bearish. Tesla looks bullish. Everything's kind of conflicting here. I don't like that MACD on SPY Daily. It looks atrocious, but we haven't crossed yet. Again, if you all like this content, make sure to like and follow for more.